So Pam Bondi says she will continue fighting for President Trump after the president announced she'd be stepping down as Attorney General. The president elevating Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche to acting Attorney General. Blanche addressing rumors over Bondi's removal last night.
I have never heard President Trump say that the Attorney General that anything that happened to her had anything to do with the Epstein files. And so, look, the Epstein files has been a saga that's lasted for the past year. And what happened when the president signed the Transparency Act is the Department of Justice has now released all the files with respect to the Epstein saga.
All right, joining us now, Fox News legal analyst Gregg Jarrett. All right, so I know. Look, the president loves Pam Bondi. They have a personal friendship, but I think we would be sugarcoating it if we didn't say he was unhappy. The coach put someone else in the game because something wasn't going well. There was some success, though, in her office, though, bringing crime down. This is what she put on X on Thursday. Since February 2025, we have secured the lowest murder rate in 125 years, secured the first ever terrorism conviction against members of Antifa, shattered domestic and transnational gangs across the country, taking custody of more than 90 key cartel figures, and won 24 favorable rulings at the Supreme Court. But even with all of that, Greg, it wasn't enough to keep the job.
No, it wasn't, Lawrence. And as you've pointed out, this was not a bitter, rancorous termination. I would describe this as a spring cleaning by the president. First Kristi Noem, now Pam Bondi. There'll be others, I promise you, who have not met Trump's high expectations. And with the midterms fast approaching, I think now's the time to shake out the rugs and sweep the floors. It's no secret that Bondi was blamed for slow-walking the Epstein files after vowing immediate transparency. Never make a promise you can't keep. It'll haunt you. So, I think a new AG helps turn the corner for Trump on a nagging polemic. And second of all, there is frustration. The notable cases stalled under Pam Bondi, particularly involving those who shamefully weaponized the law to pursue Trump over everything from the Russia hoax to the 4 Democrat-led prosecutions. The president wants a new, more aggressive lawyer at the helm. That's his right. And look, Trump is a vigilant, demanding boss. He wants results. And if you don't deliver, he'll move on, find somebody who can. That's a part of his great success. He is the polar opposite of Joe Biden snoozing on a beach, utterly clueless. Trump is an activist president, which can be exhausting if you don't make his expectations, but, immediacy and goal-oriented standards are virtues.
Yeah, it's admirable that Todd Blanche, defended his former boss by saying it had nothing to do with the Epstein files, but frankly, it is a part of the conversation because they did not handle it very well. You get these releasing of these documents, people haven't been criminally charged. It became a big mess, the promising of things, and they didn't deliver on it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, to the extent that Todd Blanche is implicated in all of that, I really don't see any strong evidence.
Right.
Blanche is eminently qualified. He's a top American lawyer. He defended Trump in 3 of the 4 prosecutions and did so quite skillfully and successfully. Most of all, he has the trust and confidence of the president. He has Trump's ears, so I think Trump will take a very close look at him. Lee Zeldin, it's no secret he's a top contender for the job. Trump has come to admire the remarkable job that Zeldin has done as head of the APA, achieving the policy objectives of the president. Zeldin's a low-key guy.
Yeah,
Lawrence, he moves swiftly, which Trump really likes. And he cleaned up what was a cesspool at the EPA, got rid of the insane regulations, uncovered billions in fraud and waste, including a slush fund of billions of hidden gold bars, if you can believe it. Zeldin is also experienced in the D.C. swamp, and that's a valued asset he'd bring to the DOJ. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's anybody's job at this point. The president is going to be doing the apprentice-style interviewing process. It's good to see you, Greg.
Good to see you, Lawrence. Thanks.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.